Welcome back to my channel. This is T. Today we're going to use a crystal grid that has rose quartz crystals on it along with roses. And the two people in the middle of the triangle crystal grid are representatives of two people who need protection of their union, and they need their union to be strengthened. So I'm going to use my Selenite wand to activate this crystal grid. And what I'm doing is I am sending healthy energy to people who are in coupling. And so we're going to fill in the loyalty, the beauty, the love, the eternal time, as much time as we possibly can for this relationship to be stable. And so I'm going to get the selenite crystal wand so that I can start this process. So it will be just a few seconds. And so it's very important to consider many things when you use a crystal grid, because you definitely want to set your intention for the best outcome possible. So these two people, which they can represent you and the person that you're with, um, we want to set the intention for love, for compassion, for understanding, because a lot of relationships today lack these things. And there are a lot of people that are tired of trying to maintain a relationship because the society that we live in makes it kind of difficult because there's a lot of stressors around us. So, unfortunately, sometimes people who are in couplings, they take the frustration of the world out on each other. So, the good thing about a crystal grid for love and for couples is that you can ask the divine to help you to protect these types of relationships. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to ground ourselves. That's what I usually do before I start this process. And so we'll take about like 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds to ground ourselves. And while we do this, we're going to imagine any negative energy leaving our bodies or leaving the situation around us so that when we use this crystal grid, the positive energy will be the main source of energy that is infused or put into this crystal grid, because this crystal grid, it is going to be used for people who are in relationships, and we don't want any negative energy to be able to interfere with this process. So it's been a few seconds, and so now I'm going to ask the higher power or the divine to activate this crystal grid. And what I'm going to do is allow the divine to tell me which way to go. And so that's what it did. So it started at the top. And I'll always do the same process. And so I'll do it again because really you can do this as many times as you want. And so it's interesting because as you can see, the direction is pretty much the same. And so that's how I know that the divine is helping me with this process, is that when I do it, and more than once or twice, I typically get the same direction. And so I'll do it again. And basically right now I'm asking the divine to provide people who are in relationships with love and commitment and honor and protection, because Those are the things that are required to be in a higher level relationship, a relationship that's not toxic. And the good thing about making a crystal grid like this is it will help you to remember the reason why you're in a relationship with someone. And you can actually do this with your partner. You can actually have your partner with you when you use this crystal grid. Okay? So you're able to tap the crystals as many times as you want. And while you do this, you can actually speak to the divine or the higher power and ask the higher power to help you with whatever help you need with your relationship. Okay? So, you can also label certain crystals for specific things. So, with a triangular shaped crystal grid, I can say that this crystal represents love, this one represents compassion, and this one represents stability, and this one represents security. So when you're using your crystal grid and you tap each crystal, you can actually say, I program this crystal grid for, safety, security, protection, or whatever it is that you want to program it for. And at this time, you can also envision the negative energy leaving your relationship. You can also ask for guidance. And that's something that I often do because, I just want to consider what the divine wants me to know, because there's things that I don't know. And there are certain directions that I may take that may lead me into the wrong direction. So the divine knows what's best for us as far as our lives, and especially with the relationships that we have with people, right? And so once I finish this process of activating my crystal grid with the things that I want to pour into the people that are in a relationship, that's where I'll give it some time. I'll wait and see if I feel comfortable with this process. If I don't, I will go back to the activation process of the crystal grid, which means I will tap each crystal and I will say whatever it is that I need to say, and I'll ask the divine to help me with whatever I need help with. And most people get to a place to where they're comfortable or happy with this process, and so then that tells them that, okay, I can stop this process now. And after you do that, you will thank the divine for hearing your request, or whatever it is that you want the divine to hear, because when you thank the divine, you're basically saying, I trust you and I know that you will do what's best for me and you will help me with whatever it is I need help with. And so I'm going to bring up people who are in relationships that are not healthy for them, or that they're in relationships they shouldn't be in. They may want to use this crystal grid so that they will try to keep that relationship together. And when the divine hears you ask to be in a relationship with someone that you shouldn't be in a relationship with, something that you may want to consider is that you may start seeing signs that you shouldn't be in that relationship. And so that's something that you'll want to consider, because although we may think that we should be in certain relationships with people, we may not need to be in those relationships. So the good thing about using a crystal grid is that it can guide you away from what you may want to have, because the whole point of the crystal grid is for the outcome to be good. So either way, let's say, you decide, I want to be with this person, and the divine doesn't want you to be with that person. You will get the signs. And so basically it's using a crystal grid is very beneficial, because you'll be able to tap into the divine or the higher power, and you'll get the answers you need, whether they're the answers that you want or you don't. And so Because at the time you may feel that, this is what's best for me, but maybe you haven't reached a level in your life, or you haven't reached an understanding to know that what you want may not be what you should have. And so, just look for the signs to where you'll know if this is the relationship you should be in, after you do this process with the crystal grid, because um, the divine will let you know. You'll be shown things, because when you use this crystal grid, you're basically tapping into an energy field, and you're tapping into information that is not readily available to you. So you'll be given information that you may not be looking for. And, you know, sometimes, later down the road, you'll understand why things worked out the way they did. Some people, unfortunately, they don't get it, and so sometimes they stay in the cycle of trying to be with someone that doesn't want to be with them. So anyway, basically what I'm saying is the crystal grid can help you in more ways than one, and in ways that you may not even consider. So you can use other flowers if you want. I use roses because I love roses. So, and I felt that they would really help this crystal grid, because I'm using the rose quartz crystals, and they represent love and compassion and caring. And so I thought, well, why not add roses? So that way it makes it even more, just more like realistic and individualistic. So you can, like I said, you can add any types of flowers that you want. Whatever, you can do whatever works for you. So I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I will show you other ways that you can make crystal grids that will be unique to you, instead of just like the standard ones, which are fine. But I always say that when you make something um, individualistic, or something that is like specific for you, it usually works out better. Okay? So anyway, thank you for joining me on this live. And if you'd like to see more lives, please follow, like, and share. I'm on YouTube, and I am on Patreon. So if you would like to have a reading, or if you would like to buy some things that I have in the shop, please join me over there. And take care. Bye bye.